Don't mind the airplanes. Or that other loud noise. Welcome to El3vation Radio, people. We have Jahruzlem joining us. Okay. Just send a request and I'll bring you up. Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool.
Okay. I can barely hear you, though. Like, you got to get a little
yeah.
closer to the mic.
Probably.
You good. Just tell me when you're a little closer.
Let me fix the camera real quick.
Okay. I can hear you a lot better. It sounds like you turned something up.
Nah, I just moved closer to the mic, but I gotta move the camera back so that way I'm not.
Oh, okay. You good. You good, bro.
There you go. That should work better.
Okay. You good and comfortable now?
Thought I had
it. You good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to El3vation Radio Podcast. How you doing, friend?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I met you on Clubhouse. Yeah, I met this brother on Clubhouse. We was, spitting some poetry and stuff. So how did you even, discover Clubhouse, bro?
Oh.
Like, who invited you?
How did I discover Clubhouse? Well, I got an invite from my cousin Hannah Got Raps, but as far as like how I found out about it, I think I randomly seen my cousin, like another one of my cousins post about it on Instagram, Nikki Chulo, and he had posted about it. I asked him what it was, and he told me. So I was like, all right, well, send me an invite. So he told me as soon as he had some more that he would. But he didn't really go on there that often. You know, in order for you to get invites, you have to be like active. So
right.
I ended up he wasn't able to send me any. And then my other cousin Hannah, she randomly came out to Vegas for a trip for her cousin's birthday, and she was like, man, I don't know, we somehow got into a conversation about Clubhouse. And she was like, yeah, I got these invites, I don't know who to send them to, and I was like, I guess you could send me one. Like, man, so after that I was pretty much on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
so
that was pretty simple from there.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So we're gonna start with some basic questions.
Okay.
I want to find out a lot of things that you've grown from, and I also want to find out how you grew up. So that's the first question I'm gonna ask of you. Like, what was your upbringing like?
Okay. Upbringing. It's pretty well off, I guess you could say, man. I mean, my both my parents were immigrants from Haiti, so like they came in, they flew in from Haiti to New York. That's where they live, and I have an older brother and older sister, and they're both born in New York. I was born in New York, and then like pretty much after that, I was pretty much raised on the West Coast for the most part. Like I was born there, and then we moved out west, and I was in California, and then I've been in Vegas pretty much for most of my life. So. Dealing with this lovely heat that we have out here every year. Other than that, it's a okay place to live. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say it's like fantastic to raise kids here, but for adults, it's cool. It's a good place. There's a lot of opportunity too. So I mean, like, you can't deny that. Like people that come here, if you can find a way to make it work for you, it's definitely an opportunity.
Okay. Okay. So, going to Vegas, like, do you like living in Vegas? Be honest. Like, is it cool for you?
I mean, I've been here most of my life. I don't really care for it anymore. Man, I want to go live other places. So,
Okay. Okay. So, like,
yeah,
do you
yeah.
consider yourself an introvert?
For the most part, yeah, man. I'm really a kind of to myself kind of person. I don't really go out on my way to be too outgoing. But if I'm out around, then then I'll be. Then yeah, I guess it's just kind of like a feeling thing, like an energy thing. If you feel comfortable in certain spaces, then you'll be outgoing. Like when I'm at work, I have to be, because I kind of have to interact with people, and it's natural for me to be able to do so. But like I don't go out of my way to go be outgoing.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So, where do you work at?
I'm working as a cook in a little bar kitchen. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, what do
Yeah.
you love most about working up there?
Uh, it- I enjoy the bartenders sometimes. My little graveyard bartenders who are kicking it, have a good conversation. Some of the people that come in there are kind of, and they're interesting people. So it's always something new. Like dude, the first week I was working there, I walk out and there's this lady, and this is like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. She's pretty lit. There's this lady just dancing with her top off, and I was like, okay, this is happening at my bar. Yeah, that was just weird. And then I'm over here trying to
Wow.
serve food to people, and she's trying to dance with me. Yeah, dude, yeah, I'm trying to serve food to people, and she's trying to dance with me, and I'm like, lady, I'm trying to do my job. Like, it
Right.
was
Exactly.
it was an interesting situation. Um, yeah.
Wow. And y'all don't have drink limits up there. Y'all have to serve them if they buy them. I'm
I
guessing.
I mean, it's up to the bartender to tell you, when they're gonna stop. But for the most part, like there ain't no limits, man. Like you can drink at any time. Like you can go buy liquor at any time if the store is open. So sell it to you.
I think dancing with your top off should be the limit, sir.
Yeah, I definitely think that top off should be the limit too. That was wild,
Right.
and that was the
Right.
first week there. So,
Right. Exactly. So you said you had a pretty easy upbringing. So like you didn't have no issues with bullying. You didn't have no issues with
uh,
with parenting or abuse or
when
anything
I
like that.
when I say easy, I say easy compared to most people like that are raised in certain areas or lower poverty areas. That was my pops was a car salesman, so he did. We were well off enough where we were like lower middle class. And when we moved to Las Vegas, he pretty much was like right in the Summerlin. And I think that's because that's where his younger brother was living out here, and that's where he lived over in the Summerlin area. So he was like, "Oh, I like this area." So he kind of just like that was his goal. And when my pop sets a goal, he makes his goal. So he was like, "That's
Right.
that's where we're gonna live at." So yeah, I lived in the suburbs, bro. That's where I grew up. But as far as like bullying and stuff, I got bullied, but I never let that stuff like bother me. I know essentially it affects people, as they're growing up, but as I got older, I'm like that it has little significance as to like what's going on with with my life right now. You understand, and how I'm looking forward now. So
Okay. Okay. So what's like a lesson that you've taken from your childhood that you apply to your life right now?
um, I mean, you just gotta really, really more so trying to stay focused on the goals, man. Like if you have something set in your mind and you want to go for it, like you need to complete it, like at any cost, or at least attempt, until you have no more gas left in the tank. applied every option to to the to the problem at
Okay.
hand. You know.
Right. Okay, that's what's up, man. I feel it. So I also want to ask you about your drawing because I see a lot of your drawings on your Instagram channel. So can you tell me what made you want to draw?
I don't know. I think probably my mom. Like I remember when I was younger. At one point, she had like some decent drawing skills. Like she was the best artist that I knew at 5, 6 years old. But she drew Bart Simpson on like one of my little lunch bags.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so after she drew that, like I think that's kind of got me started. And then I just like cartoons in general. I was a big on cartoons. Like my favorite cartoon as a child was well, really a lot of them, but the one that I remember most is the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon
Is it what?
that they had. The Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that they had on Saturday morning on Fox. Man, that was my John. Man, I used to watch that every Saturday morning. Me and my older brother. So,
Well,
and like
Sonic the
Sonic
Hedgehog.
was, yeah, and like Sonic was like one of the first things that I kind of like really got into drawing. And then that, and I somehow found me and my older brother somehow found Dragon Ball on one of these channels, like the original, the very first Dragon Ball cartoon. So like we would watch that on Saturday mornings too. So I don't know how we even got to seeing Dragon Ball, but like we would watch that every Saturday too. So it's like those were like the first two things that we were introduced to as far as cartoons go.
Okay. Well, Sonic the Hedgehog and Dragon Ball is some fire cartoons. So y'all really have some great taste in, cartoons and stuff like that. So as an adult, do you still watch cartoons as an adult, or do you still watch Dragon Ball or anime or anything like that?
Yeah, man, I watch anime. That's typically what I watch. It's like anime, like fantasy shows. If I watch regular shows, like the superhero shows that they have. Even the crappy ones on the CW. I watch all of them. I go through and I analyze them. I should probably like actually sit down, analyze them, and make a podcast about it or something. I sit and I watch all of them. It's like a lot of them they have bad writing, and that's really what it is. The actors are good, but they have this terrible writing. So I watch these shows and I'm just laughing at them like why would they write it like that? But as far as like I definitely watch a lot of cartoons and anime still. They have more adult cartoons now, so no reason for me not
Yeah,
to
they
check out
do.
what. Yeah, and like most anime is for adults. Like for real, like they got people getting
Yeah, but
decapitated, completely demolished in these animes. Like these are not for children.
right, exactly. And they make these adult cartoons, but they know damn well we gonna watch those adult cartoons. Like, I
Exactly.
grew up on South Park, so they
Yeah,
always
dude.
making us watch adult
Dude.
cartoons. But the thing is that they say it's for mature audiences, but they know who they really targeting.
Yeah, they know exactly who they're targeting, man. Because I tried to watch South Park as a kid. Like, nah, my parents wasn't having it. They came it on, they immediately turned it off. Like, y'all ain't about to get into this. Like four little white kids over here disrespecting everybody. Like, yo, they would go, they would go in. Hartman, Kyle, Stan, Kenny.
Right. Yeah, that cartoon was pretty graphic. And then I also say my favorite adult cartoon growing up was, of course, the Boondocks. Like that was like my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
adult cartoon. Like, did
dude.
you watch the Boondocks?
Dude, I had originally learned about the Boondocks when it was still a comic strip, and like I think it started.
Wow.
What's crazy is when I was younger, I had the internet. I was fortunate enough to have the internet. You know, 2000, 2001. This is like right after my parents had got divorced, so it was like both. Like I would go over my dad's house, he wouldn't really have it, but my mom would try to do everything that she could to try to make it comfortable. So I had a computer, I had the internet. I was constantly on these little chat rooms on MSN.com. So I made a lot of online friends. That was kind of my way to make friends at the time. I wasn't really like it's like you said earlier. I was an introvert. So like my main way to make friends when I was younger, I didn't really go out and go do much. The only sport I played was soccer, but I always got in fights with kids. Cause I just fought kids. Anyhow, so I'm on these chat rooms and I have like all these different friends. This one girl, it's this white girl from Florida, and she's telling me about this comic, and she sends me little clips of it, and it's the Boondocks, and I'm reading it, and I was like, this shit is dope. This is cool, right? So when they finally decided to turn it into a cartoon, bro, I think I was in 10th grade when I heard about it, because I think they did it in 2004, 2005, when they decided to. I have to go look that up, but essentially, like I was in high school when it came out, and
Okay.
like it's the same thing. It's one of those iconic things. It's the same thing like the Chappelle Show, bro. Like when you first see the Chappelle Show, and you're like, this is crazy. This is epic. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Right, exactly. That's what's up that you discovered Boondocks when it was in the comic book phase, bro. Because most people wasn't paying attention to it like that. So you basically you got put on very, very early as far as that goes. So as far as art go, did you try to draw the Boondocks?
When I was younger, so I was more so drawing when I was in middle school, and then when I got to high school, I didn't draw as much. I did get into graphic design, so like that was my career choice. Why I'm not doing it now. I should be doing more graphic stuff now, but I've been kind of in a creative slump. But
I understand.
I wasn't really drawing too much in high school, so I was more so I did dance. I was on a hip hop dance team like my first 2 years of high school, 9th and 10th grade, and then I just did track, and really that's all I really kind of focused on, track and soccer the last 2 years of high school. So that, and when I was at home, I was illegally downloading music on Kazaa and Sharedo and all that stuff, and peer-to-peer networks, making little mixtapes for myself.
Wait, what'd you say? You was mumbly.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I was downloading music on ShareBear and Kazaa Lite and all that stuff, right? Making little mixtapes for myself.
Right.
Trying to get involved in all this urban soul and neo-soul music. That was kind of my thing.
I feel you.
Yeah, man.
All them. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So, all them little computer programs that gave our computers HIV back in the day. So I used to use those programs too. So I understand.
Yeah.
So like, what year did you graduate high school?
2006.
2000 what?
2006.
2006?
06. 2006.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You look like you're in your early 20s. You look like you barely graduated high school.
Oh, you know what they say about that black bro. You gotta stay young. And if you eat right, really, if you eat right, then you stay looking young. Yeah, take care of your body, stuff like that, man.
Right.
You can't be out here eating all kinds of stuff. Thank you, I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Speaking of eating right, like, what do you put into your body? Are you vegetarian? Are you vegan? Like, do you study a lot on, when it comes down to nutrition? Like, how do you know what I mean? Like, how do you study nutrition? How do you keep your diet?
I don't really study too much. I probably should study more. I really don't. I am plant-based, though. I guess you could say for the most part. Sometimes I have a cheese pizza or something. If that's the only thing around to eat, and I'm out and I haven't ate all day, like, man, all right, well, I'll just have one slice and I'll be all right, because I know it's not going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I do stick away from all the, like, dairy products, cheese products. The only issue that I do have, probably, I would have to say, is pastry. I have a weakness for any kind of pastry, especially apple pastry.
Pastry?
Yeah, if it's an apple pastry, I'm probably gonna eat it. Like that. Just being honest, man. Yeah. Other than that, like I'm pretty much pretty well off with my diet. I stick to this company called Field Gross when it comes to like the uh, meat, the plant-based meat. Um, so I kind of use that company to go to as far as what I like to cook with. Like they have different sausages. They got a burger. They got like different options and things to work
Oh
with.
yeah.
So that I like Gardein, but they use some things in their ingredients that I don't particularly care for. That's the one thing when I did become plant, like I started looking on the back on the labels of everything. I turn everything around. I on the label now, so it's like I'm reading it, and it's like it's one of those things. Once you know, it's like ignorance is bliss. If you don't know what it is, then sure, go ahead and keep on going about your life. But once you know, and you don't, you have the responsibility to either continue living your life and allowing these things to, affect your body, or to cut it out your body and find other uh, resources, avenues, path to your final food goals. You don't have to, always
Right.
eat these things that aren't good for you, especially they don't, the government doesn't care about it.
Right. I feel
What
you,
you put in
bro.
your body, yeah, the FDA and all this stuff, they don't care about what you put in your body.
No,
They're hoping to
not at all.
I'm one of those
Well,
people. They're hoping to slowly kill you with all this extra. This is why they put these things in the food. They know
I may
people
sound
eat
like
them.
right. I may sound exactly. I may sound like a conspiracy when I say this, but I do believe that the food industry and the medical industry are definitely intertwined. Like it's keep them
Dude,
sick so that they can keep giving money to the medical industry. You know what I mean? And keep
exactly.
FDA approving all these poisons and chemicals and stuff into our foods. You know what I mean? So I really, really, I
Exactly.
definitely agree. Like we don't need two paragraphs in MLA format on my bag of nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck is milk doing in nuts? Like that's like it's just it kind of just blows my mind what kind of ingredients that's in 90% of the foods that we're eating. So I definitely agree on that, man.
Yeah, and it makes no sense. I mean, I'll be like I've been plant based, well, vegan plant based, whatever you want to call it, since 2017 November. Like 2018, there's a few times I wrote down like I I worked in a barbecue spot in 2018, so it wasn't difficult for me to not eat it because I already didn't care for pork, so I don't eat like I never liked ham at Thanksgiving. I always avoided it because I didn't like the way it tasted. Just didn't like it. Um, I never really cared for pork that much, so the only thing that I really ate was like bacon. Like that was the last day, like bacon and pepperoni. But yeah, man, when I worked at this barbecue spot, we had brisket, we would smoke this stuff for like 12 hours. We had chicken wings, that we would like everything was smoked. So like there's a few times like I broke down, had a chicken wing, and we had this mac and cheese, and I put the brisket in the mac and cheese, and I ate that, and that was fine. It was worth it. My stomach was upset for the day, but it was worth that one time was worth it. Yeah, bro. So I started my journey, and I've been doing this for 4 years now. And at first, I started off with just rice and beans. Once you figure out what it is, once you start learning how to cook, how to cook the things that you want your way, it's really it's simple to keep at it. But then like you have to it's like I said, it's looking and paying attention to the things that you're putting into your body. But I started because like I worked in a restaurant 2013, 2014, and I had this chef. He would explain to me how they made meat with marbles, like beef and roast beef and stuff. And he explained to me how they did that, and I was like, okay, so they're basically taking pieces of meat and taking animal glue, which is made from animal parts, and gluing the meat together. Make it with marbles. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. That makes me not really want to eat it anymore. I still taste it. But
Right.
I was like, I really don't want to eat this anymore. So at that point, I just kind of just started dissipating. Like I decided that I was eventually gonna cut out my diet, and it was really just chicken and fish for the most part. And like every once in a while, I would have a hamburger. You know, because hamburgers weren't marbles.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't really eat any kind of beef past hamburger. Um, so yeah, mostly just
Okay.
chicken and fish, man. A lot of sushi bowls.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Sushi bowls are fine.
I never had sushi before, and I always avoided it, even as a kid, even before, cause I'm plant based myself, so like I never got to eat sushi or whatever before then, so like, but I don't regret it, cause at first I was like, raw fish, like, nah, I'm good.
It's you know, at first it was like, you know, okay, yeah, anything wrong. Like I had this one girl I was going out with, like I took her to the all you can eat sushi spot, and she decided to try to go baby octopus. Like, are you crazy? That I couldn't do.
Ew.
Yeah,
Octopus?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I tried calamari. I couldn't really do calamari because like I don't know. Mm. Like
Wow.
fish is okay to me. Like fish is okay to me because I feel like it's natural to eat fish. That is the one thing I feel is natural to eat fish. Like opposed to all the other animals, not really more so, you know. But
I feel you.
yeah,
So
I don't feel bad about fish being eaten because I feel like they can easily replenish themselves as far as like those other animals. Like, I guess chickens too, but not the chickens that we have now. Because those are super chickens. You know, I don't need a giant chicken breast. It's weird.
right.
That's not normal.
Hey,
You know,
can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
Real quick. When it comes down to plant-based foods, all these industry companies are catching on and are putting out more plant-based alternatives to their stuff. But the downside is that they have a lot of unfavorable ingredients. So I say the best way to eat healthy is to make most of your plant-based stuff at home, to be honest with you.
Honestly, yes. That's the best way. That is the best way to go about it. If you figure out how to make your own plant-based stuff, and they have recipes all online, but like, there's the internet has been a godsend for people like you and I, that are plant-based we have to figure out our own ways to eat because we can't just go out and go buy some 2-month-old chicken that's sitting in the store. Excuse me, people that eat chicken. I don't want to turn you away from your food, but I'm just saying, like, the stuff that they have there, it sits there and they color it and they do all kinds of things to eat meat to try to sell it, so
Yeah.
that's why, and once again, I'm not trying to turn anybody away from what they want to eat. Y'all go eat whatever you want to eat. I'm more than happy for you as long as you can make it work for your diet. Just make sure you add some greens and some fiber so it can properly move through your digestive.
Yes.
Get out your body.
Exactly.
You don't want to stay in there. It's not good for you.
Yes, exactly, man. I feel like we could talk about the plant-based diet all day if we had time, but
Yeah.
I am going to change. I am going to change gears for a second. I do want to ask you about one of your paintings. Can you tell me how much time it actually took you to make Queen Go Fishing? Because you said it took you a lot of time, so I want to know how much time did it actually take you?
It took iPad because it literally marks it in the program.
You good, bro?
Weird.
Take your time.
It's weird. So I use Procreate, and it will literally mark the time that the pen is on the pad. So it's like if I'm not, it's not the time that the app is open. It's the time that the pen is moving on the pad. That's how it marks the time. It's timing, so that's pretty cool. But I think it was like 30 hours or something like that. Where are you at, Procreate? It's only just wanted to work. There we go. Tell
me where you find it. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, meanwhile, while I'm looking for it, like I do have a lot of things that I've drawn on my little iPad.
Okay.
Not like a ton of things, not like a million things. You know, probably like 15 or 20 things, like different illustrations. Like,
yeah, because I saw Queen go fishing.
Most of them are not done. But this one is.
Yeah, because I saw Queen go fishing. It was a really nice painting.
I appreciate that because this one, I seen a picture of. It was based off this little picture of a model sitting on the boat. And I seen it, and I was like, this girl's beautiful. I'm going to draw her. So I decided to draw her.
Okay. So do you often get your inspirations from outside, from things that you see on the outside world?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
You see about the outside world.
Okay. Very, very interesting, man. Like I said, take your time. Took you a lot of time to paint it. Took you a lot of time to find it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find the information because I know this one. Actually, this one I don't think it actually took me that long. This one I think it just took me 10. I think this one it took me a total of not 9.5 to 10 hours. But I do have one that did take me. I was sitting there drawing. It's an actual tattoo I did for my. It's a concept that I did for my cousin, one of my cousins, and that one it took me, I think, 20 hours. But yeah, the queen gone fishing took me about 9.5 to 10 hours to do that one. It was really mostly the boat. The boat took me a long time. The boat probably took me the longest time because I literally drew all these tiny little lines. It's helpful when it's on an iPad because you can just zoom all the way in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty dope.
So when did you get your iPad? Like, when did you get it? Wow.
Yeah.
Fam, that's great. Wow. That's what's up, yo.
So that one I drew.
These are some great drawings you showing me, man. So when did you get your iPad again?
No, this one was, this is actually my mom's old iPad. The screen got broke, so her boyfriend bought her a new one, and so my older brother paid to fix the screen on this one. And so when I moved, I had left, and I lived in Victorville, California for a year. Don't ask me why. There was nothing out there for me to do. So I came back to Vegas. And then COVID hit right when I came back to Vegas. Anyhow, so when I came back, I pretty much I had already downloaded Procreate like last time I visited when I was staying in Victorville. I came out to visit. I downloaded Procreate on the iPad, so I was already drawing with it. And essentially, when I moved back, and the iPad was just sitting around. Nobody was really using it. My older brother only uses it for his GoPro videos. So I was like, well, I'm going to use it. I'm pretty much going to commandeer it. This is going to be my iPad. So I paid for it. Like, you don't even use it, dude. So I pretty much took it over. So,
that's okay. So, okay, that's what's up, man. It's amazing all the stuff that you can do on an iPad.
Dude, the things you can do on the iPad is fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So do you have any?
Yo, I just want to show you real quick.
Yeah, what's going on? I can't see it. What is it?
Track time, 25 hours.
Oh wow! Wow,
yeah,
25 hours, fam.
That one took me 25 hours. Because I went through a lot of concepts with it because this one was based off a drawing from Marcus Prime. You know who Marcus Prime is? He's a drawing comic. He has this comic called Ona. Very.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you'll have to look him up, but he's dope. He does a lot of black comics. He's a dope artist. But she sent me something. She says, "Can you draw me something that looks like this?" But I want something that's more representative of a natural woman, right? Not to say that Marcus doesn't draw natural women. It's just most women in the world are extremely thin. You know, they're not thin and dainty. They're voluptuous and curvy. So that's what I drew.
Right.
And essentially,
Okay.
and essentially that's what she was going for. So I made that happen.
That's what's up, yo.
And she was happy for it, but I do need I'm gonna redraw it for her to make it more tattoo like, I guess.
Okay.
It's like this one I put a bunch of shading into it and all kinds of stuff because I got into it when she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I got really excited and I got into it. But yeah, I'm gonna redo it for her so that way she can actually make it into a tattoo.
Okay.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's what's up, yo. Hey, Courtney. Courtney says King.
Yeah.
You know who Courtney is, right?
Courtney. I might know who Courtney is. Courtney.
Oh, okay. So we're going to change gears real quick, and we're going to talk about Clubhouse one more time. So did you meet a lot of people on Clubhouse?
I met a few. I mean, my Instagram followers jumped up after I joined Clubhouse.
Okay.
That's my cousin just joined. What's up, cousin?
Hello. How you doing? So we're gonna ask another question.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask you like about your poetry now, because we talked about your paintings, so now we're gonna talk about your poetry.
Okay.
So first, I want to start with huh?
Yeah. We can definitely talk about some poetry, bro.
Okay, definitely. So like, how much poetry are you sitting on right now that you haven't put out to the world?
I wouldn't say too much. It's not like books upon books. I just probably had a folder full of poems somewhere on my iPhone.
So
right
okay.
now. So, yeah, there's probably at least 15, 20 poems that people don't know about or haven't heard.
Oh wow.
That I've never, put out yet.
Okay. So like, what have you been to have you been to a lot of open mics, or have you performed in front of people a lot when it comes down to your poetry?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I've been to a few open mics out here. More than 10, at least more than 10 for sure. But I started going to open mics in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, was that the last one you went to?
No, that's when I started, January 2016. Okay. The last one I did was just June. No, May? Was it May? Yeah, it was out here in May for Beyond the Neon is what it's called. So a young lady, her name is Ashley Vargas. We call her Miss AV. Is her stage name. She's fantastic. A young Afro-Latina, Black and Puerto Rico. Yeah, she's really dope. So she started up this Beyond the Neon, and she's been doing it since. Well, I guess she started it last year during COVID. So basically virtual poetry. And
okay.
Now that we're kind of opening back up, so, she is now going back to straight open mic, face-to-face open mic. That's gonna be dope. What's up, E-Dub?
That's what's up, bro. I you know what I mean? That's what's up that you've performed and done open mic. So like, do you have any type of stage fright? Like, do you have like, when you get up on stage, it's just like butterflies in your stomach, or like you just do it? Like, what's your thing when it comes down to open mic, man?
I think that's like a every time thing. I don't think the butterflies ever really go away. Like, I feel like even Michael Jackson, every single time he went on stage, he kind of got a little like, I'm not gonna do everything right this time. It's gonna go perfect. But Michael practiced. If you watch his documentaries, he practiced so much that he ain't messing up. He's probably more concerned about his dancers messing up or something. But no, it's like even the last time I went up, I did my poem, and I always try to do it off the top of my head because I don't want to be sitting here holding the phone and reading off my phone. I feel like it's not authentic. And even though I have my poems memorized, like I still mess up right in the middle of it, and like I forget a word, then I have to improvise and throw another word, or I have to skip a bar, or I have to like make up a bar because I can't remember what it is that I said. And then right after I'm done, I'm like, I go through it through my head, and I was like, man, I remembered everything. Why couldn't I get it? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to when it comes to poetry and just going up on the stage and just trying to get like practice makes perfect. So just practice more and more. And like I think even if you have it down, you're still gonna get the butterflies. They gonna come. And if they come, just move through it. Because once you start, you keep going. Once you start the poem, it just kind of flows sometimes. Or if you're not that confident, just pull your phone out or bring your book up there. Like, the poetry community loves you regardless. That's the one thing I love about the poetry community. They accept the poems. However you give it to them, they just want the smoke. All of it. All the poetry smoke, give it to them. They want it. They don't care how you read it to them. They don't care how you say it. They don't care if you stutter over your words. They just want to hear what you have to say.
Exactly. Definitely point taken. I love that you said they want all the poetry smoke. I never heard that before. I never heard that before in my life. I'm gonna start using that when it comes down to the poetry community.
I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on the shirt and I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, definitely send that to me. Definitely inbox me. So I want to ask, what is your favorite poem for you? Like one of your favorite poems?
I don't know. I don't.
It could be you or another person.
No, here's the thing. Because I have an issue with choosing. Not an issue. Okay. It's hard to pick one. It's like if you ask me who my favorite hip hop artist is, I'll tell you Mos Def. Like right now, Yasin Bey is number one. But when it comes to like my favorite Mos Def song, there's a bunch of them that I love. I can't really. There's at least a top three that I have that I wouldn't be able to choose between. But I can give you a couple of poems that I have that's at my top probably. Can I cite them for you? Probably not. Like okay. I could. I just they're on my phone that we're using now, and I don't have all of them.
Okay. So yeah,
one of them that I would say is my favorite is the one I recently did at this poetry slam that I wrote last year and I wrote after the whole George Floyd situation. So that one is definitely up there.
Okay.
I call it uncertainty. Uncertainty. That's definitely up there as one of my favorite ones.
Okay. So I want to ask you real quick. So what do you think the difference is between poetry and spoken word? Because there's definitely a difference.
I think spoken word, it can be more, the word I'm looking for, free form, thoughtless. You just kind of getting your thoughts out there. Whereas poetry, for the most part, I mean, like, let's say spoken word is a species of poetry. It's a subcategory of poetry. Because poetry, I would say, is the overall category.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like poetry for 500 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then spoken word would be like right under that category. And then, but poetry as a whole is more. It can be formatic. It can be asymmetrical, you know, if you want artist terms, graphic terms, it can be symmetrical. You can have format. It can be unformatted. It can be anything. You know, poetry can be movement, dancing. So.
Okay. Definitely. Yeah, because I like how you describe that. So I want to also ask you about your most recent poem that you put up, ethmology, however you say it. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your poetry name, and I'm so ashamed about that.
No. So it's etymology. It might be pronounced. No, it's the actual word. And etymology is the study of words and language, and it's one of the things that I've always been interested in. Because like a couple of years ago, I was like super big on this thing where like, don't call me black. I'm not black. Like we have a heritage, we have a background. We just have to figure it out. We need to stop calling ourselves black because we're never gonna be seen as people in the eyes, in the view of the world, if we continue to use these colored misnomer terms, which essentially is the truth. But we've been into it so long that people are never going to change, and so it's always going to be a black and white thing. So that's about it. That really taught me language. Where does these words come from? The word black doesn't even mean the color of skin, originally. It meant to be without knowledge, to be pale, literally.
Wow.
That's what it originally meant, And so the fact that words can change their meaning over time, just because we consider it change doesn't mean they consider it change. Yeah, I'm just saying that's just my perception of it or my thoughts on it. But you just kind of go along with it because the rest of the world has gone along with it. So like and I think at some point you can change like the meaning of a word. Like as a group of people, we can take words and make them our own, even though the powers that be, don't accept the changes of words. Essentially, if we become the power, then fuck with it.
Exactly. But people, I don't know if people are ready for that conversation yet. Design to influence says lovingness. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's the homie.
Okay.
That's my little ninja.
I want to ask you.
My other cousin just joined. What's up, cousin? From the MIA. Well, he's from New York too, though. Like we all from Nyack.
Okay, that's what's up, yo. That's what's up. I also want to ask you. About your poem, your most recent poem that you just put up. I want to bring up a line that you said that kind of struck me. You said freedom isn't free, especially if you have to sleep to get your cream. What did you mean by that line?
Freedom. What did I mean when I wrote that? Freedom isn't free, especially when you have
to sleep to get your cream.
Especially when you have to sleep to get your cream. I mean, of course, cash is everything around you or around me.
Yes.
But it's the basis of the concept. I think it's more so in order for you to get paid, you can't. You have to be awake. Yeah, you can't really get no sleep for the masses. For most people, they don't have something set up where they have a constant form of income coming in even while they're sleeping. So I think that's kind of what I meant by it. I don't remember, to be honest. Like there is something really deep and specific that made me write that line, but it's something along those lines, and like it's more so people not being able to. It's really more so having to do with trying to find residual, like ways of residual income and constant fluctuation of money, perpetual money coming into your life, into your life. The generational wealth.
I feel you.
Overall, that's when I write lines like that, my overall thought process is generational wealth.
Yeah, generational wealth and several sources of income is what you gotta it's what you gotta learn for. You know what I mean? Is what you gotta learn from. So I
Exactly.
also, yeah, and what do you do when it comes down to your income? Like, how do you try to have multiple sources of income yourself?
I mean, at that point, it's just learning, like, learning how to invest, learning how to, uh, learning how to study and become, because you have to actually know how to study in order for information to retain, right?
Right.
So trying to figure out the different ways to properly retain knowledge and information so you can utilize it for when the time comes. Because let's say if we all knew about what was going to happen last year when the stock market crashed, if the stock market crashes all the time, right? If people knew that, then if we knew that, specifically people that look like you and I, then we would have took our money and we would have invested in the things that mattered to us, right? And we would have all came up, then we would have been able to be like, "Man, okay, well now I have enough money where I can actually take time to figure this stuff out, figure out how to make this work, and figure out how to build generational wealth for my family."
Mm.
That's kind of the thought process that I have on a lot of the things that I just in general doing and doing now. Once you get to a certain age, it's like, all right, game time. Like it should always be game time, but some people want to have fun first. So most people they tell you go have fun in your 20s. You'll have your whole life ahead of you Nah, son, work your ass off in your 20s so you can have fun in your 30s and 40s, and you'll be set. By the time imagine I imagine if I would have been on top of my stuff when I was like 19, 20, by the time I'm 35, I'd be like, have to retire, I can, you know what I'm saying, have everything that they need so they can be comfortable with life.
I feel you.
They,
I feel you.
you know, so,
Yes, definitely.
you,
So
you,
I
you,
want to
you
ask
know
you,
how they all say if you could go back in time, that's what I would go back in time and I would tell you. That's what I would tell myself. Just like just focus on stuff that you can invest in. Learn how to be an investor, not to work
yes,
for people.
yes, definitely. If I can go back in time, I would have went back to 2012 and told myself to invest in the Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Because
that
I know
too. That's
right, exactly. I'd be a millionaire by now if I would have invested in
dude.
Bitcoin in
I'm
2012.
saying you'd be a billionaire.
Oh,
You'd be a
yes,
billionaire, bro.
yes, definitely, man. That's something I regret. So I want to ask you, do you have any kids or do you want to have any kids?
I don't have any. I'm not opposed to having any. I'm not opposed to having any, but it's not a priority. Obviously, I'm just because I'm not with anybody right now. So if I find somebody in my life or that walks into my life that I find is fit enough,
Right.
mentally more so than any other, physicality or mentally and spiritually for the most part, then that
Okay.
would be the person. So I have to see them as a sound a person of sound mind, body, and soul.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are not.
Yes.
A lot of people are just toxic.
Yes. I have to
Some
fit.
some
Yeah.
some yeah, sorry. Sometimes I'm toxic. It like everyone has a fault.
Toxic traits.
Yeah, everyone has a trait.
Yeah. And like I said, when it comes, everybody has their toxic traits, but at the same time, some people, when it comes down to frequency, some people just vibrate a lot lower than other
Yeah,
people. And when it comes down to attracting partners, you generally attract a mirror image of yourself. So,
right.
when it comes down to attracting the right person, people don't realize you gotta have all of those qualities that you want in that person, in order for you to
Exactly.
attract the woman or man of your dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
You
and
you
then people don't
you
realize
you
when you
have
have a
to
lot of
match.
self. Yeah, exactly, bro. When you have a lot of self hatred, you attract somebody who is going to be very evil to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're evil to themselves. So it's like they're not mentally stable, so to speak. Like they have stability, but like they have traumas that they need to still go through that they haven't faced. So to speak.
Right. Exactly. So I want to ask you real quick. So like, how do you protect your zen? How do you protect your, you know what I mean, like your inner peace, and how do you keep your vibration as high as possible?
I don't know, man. I'm really just that's the whole introvert thing. I took to myself for the most part. Because when I was younger, I would always try to. I was a people pleaser. You know, I was trying to.
Me too.
And that's probably one thing that I actually do regret being is constantly being a people pleaser, trying to always, you know, because I did want to have friends. You know, I did want to be popular like most kids. I did want to have all of those things that, you know, the popular kids have, I guess. But the people that I was hanging around wasn't always, you know, it wasn't always, didn't have the right mindset, you know, and that's not necessarily their fault either. It's like, and as you get older, you kind of recognize, you look back and you recognize, because you look at their life and you look at your life, and it's like, especially if there's someone that's close to you, and it's like, well, I understand why they did all the things that they did, because I understand that's the path that they went down, that's the path that they kind of were steered toward, you know. And it's like,
okay.
when you want to be friends with somebody, it's like you kind of just go down that path with them, opposed to choosing your own path. And I did that often. I would often go down other people's paths instead of my own. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I did that shit too, so understandable, man. Definitely. So like, did you, you know, when it comes down to, you know, having friends and stuff in your life, like, are you very selective now about who you keep in your life?
Yeah, I'm pretty selective, man. And that's why I really stay to myself. I stay at home, I watch anime, I play video games. When I feel the vibe in me to do so, you know, the positive energy or any kind of energy within me to do so, then I'll draw or write, create. At one point I was trying to do music, but now like you go through these phases, man, you know. So like now more so I'm just hanging at the house, trying to, like, in my free time, if I'm not watching anime, or like I do it while I'm watching anime, I'll be drawing or, you know, thinking of other stuff. I'll have anime playing in the background, and I'll be on my computer looking at YouTubes on investing, trying to figure out how to utilize the stock market and actually learn how to figure out how to properly invest and make money, man. So I mean,
so you just spend a lot of time with yourself.
Yeah, man. Just because I spent a lot of time after my parents got divorced. I spent a lot of time by myself, and that's probably like what steered me towards wanting to have friends. Because I spent a lot of time. I was by myself at the time. Even having an older brother and older sister, and I have a younger brother too, but he's 12 years younger than me, so it's like it's a large gap. Like now,
understandable.
Now he's old enough where I can, you know, go hang out with him. Yeah, it was when you're by yourself. That's kind of, I guess, that's kind of what you go back to eventually. You know, kind of like if you're always around people when you're younger, then as you get older, you're just always going to be around people. Maybe if you're always by yourself when you're younger, then you kind of just, you know, go that path. But I don't mind it. It gives me time to meditate on things, think, trying to figure out how I want to move forward. You know?
There's nothing wrong with being an introvert, man. There's nothing wrong with having a social battery and you know, being very particular about the people that you kick it with, the people that you hang out with. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be ashamed about when it comes down to that. So I want to ask you only 2 more questions, and then I'm going to let you get up out of here, and then we'll wrap the interview up. You've been great so far, so thank you so much for doing this interview in the first place. You know what I mean? Because, you know,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, because I started this podcast like a little over a month ago, and I'm already booking, you know what I mean, a good amount of interviews, which I really appreciate, you know, because I didn't know how many interviews I was going to get, because I'm like, it's a new podcast. I just started this Instagram account. So like, you know, and also I'm about to run my first big campaign. So like, it's a lot of stuff I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So I really want to put this podcast out to more viewers and have more sets of eyes. You know what I mean? See these great interviews that I've done.
Oh yeah.
So
For
I just
sure,
want to
bro.
ask
Hey.
you for you.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm more than happy to be here to help you, man. So like I appreciate you having me on too. So like I know me and my cousins we run our own little Vegas podcast that we started last year. We don't really record too much. We just kind of whenever like big things come out, Marvel shows and comics and movies and stuff that we go over.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'll be more than happy to share all of your stuff too on our platform.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And,
I appreciate that.
Of course, buddy.
Yeah, so I do want to, like I said, last two questions I am going to ask you. What impact do you want to make when it comes down to your writing and your poetry and, you know, just whatever? Like, what kind of impact do you want to make before you leave?
Most of my poetry is like political, because normally most of my stuff is, you know, like I wrote a lot of the stuff that you heard recently, stuff that I wrote after the George Floyd situation. So it's like, just I want to spread knowledge. No, that's a big thing for me. It's like knowledge over everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to spread knowledge for people. So it's like if I can open people's eyes and they get a different perspective or point of view, and that lets them see the world from another view other than their own, then you know that's kind of what I go for the most part. That's my vibe. That's where I vibrate at.
I love it, man. Thank you.
Energy.
Thank you for that answer. I appreciate it. So, you know, the last question I do want to ask you is, where do you see yourself at least 2 years down the line? Like, where are you hoping to be?
I'll be honest, I don't really think about it too much. I don't necessarily see myself in anywhere in particular other than just wealthy, I guess. You know.
Wealthy, you said?
I'm thinking, yeah. I more so see myself in segments of years. So, like, I think 2024, I'm gonna have this particular amount, or like I see myself more thoroughly invested with properties and trying to figure out how to have complexes and buildings, duplexes, things for like I want to build things for my people. You know, that's kind of where I see myself doing things for the people that I care about and building a community of people that I love and that want to help other Black people. You know, that's kind of what it is. I kind of see myself.
Yes, definitely.
So, I got ideas for it. I just need to, we need to sit down and get it done, right? So sometimes it's hard to find the motivation to do it. So it's like you kind of just gotta go one step at a time until it all comes together.
I feel you, bro. Wow, man, it was really nice talking to you, bro. It was really nice finally having a chit chat because we did briefly talk on Clubhouse and then we followed each other and then we didn't really get to talk in person until now. So I really appreciate this conversation. You have really good energy. And, keep doing what you're doing, keep drawing, keep making, great poetry and keep inspiring because you're really doing a good job of what you're doing.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, bro, I appreciate you having me on once again, man. And, yeah, you definitely keep going with this as well, brother. And, like my homie Erica, great questions and transparent answers. Much love and creative success, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
We
I appreciate it.
you for joining. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you definitely gotta keep going with this. Keep active. Like content. That's the main thing that I learned from like going in Clubhouse and going into podcast rooms, and they're talking about how to produce your podcast and how to become successful with podcasting. You gotta have the content and put it out. Take the time, put it out, edit it, do whatever it is that you're gonna do. Get it done, man. And
yes.
like I said, if you need help, I'm here, and I definitely suggest that you reach out to Don to Influence and you should have a podcast interview with her too, because she's dope.
Definitely.
She
Thank
might
you,
be
man.
modest about it. She might be modest about it, but she's, excuse my language, she's fucking dope, bro. She's amazing.
Okay.
So, yeah, she has some really good poetry too.
Okay. Okay. Thanks again. I really appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, bro.
This
and
is great.
If you ever wanna reach out and have like, you know, like a recording, like I'll record the phone on live for us too, and do some stuff like that too. Like we can have a whole live person.
Yeah.
Ideas. So you let me know when you're ready and you're available, or if you come out to Vegas. You know.
Yeah, because I'm actually surprisingly, I don't know if you noticed, but I actually lived in Vegas.
You did,
dude.
You live there now?
No, I was raised in Vegas for most of my life, and then I came to Phoenix, and I've been living in Phoenix, Arizona since 2018.
Oh, you only in Phoenix? Or you next door?
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix right now.
Yeah, you ain't far.
Yeah, so we ain't far.
We're gonna have to set something up. We're gonna set something up.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll probably be in Vegas the next month or so anyway, because I'm visiting family. So I'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah, brother. Give me a ring or a message on IG. We're gonna link up. Got you.
Definitely, bro. It's great talking to you, and you have a good one. Thank you so much for this podcast. It will be available in the next 48 hours on all streaming platforms. So everybody go cop the interview. Thank you once again, and you have a good one. All right.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
All right.